Hello, friends. This is Scott, and spring has sprung here down at the homestead, and got so much going on. I try to do individual videos on topics, but I'm just going to kind of have a fun video today and show you a little bit of the behind the scenes of stuff that I haven't had a chance to make other videos on. But the tulips are beautiful. The previous owner had planted these, and I had moved them around a little bit, but they're starting to fill in and got a nice variety of colors. And yeah, every year it seems to get more and more impressive, and yeah, I'm enjoying having some flowers. The neighbors seem to stop and look at them too. We even have some daffodils on the side of the house, on the north side. But I want to show you always the stars of the show. We've got Willow, Mr. Theo, and we have Thing coming up, and she's when the other cats are around, she's a little bit slow to come around, but she's the one that's always out crying, wanting me to come out and pet her. She was the sick kitty that I took home to Salt Lake and got her better. And all these cats were very skittish, and you couldn't even get anywhere near them. There's Coquette in the middle there, but yeah, it warms my heart to see that these cats have warmed up to me to the point where they're totally comfortable, and they're looking forward to hanging out with me. And again, I never thought I'd see that level of comfort, but they are a family now, I guess, and we're all family because they've all been sleeping together under the heat lamps, and they're all getting along pretty much. So yeah, that's a win-win. And every time I get a chance, I want to show you that adult cats and adult chickens seem to get along. Again, smaller birds, I wouldn't trust it. But yeah, I've never had an adult chicken attacked by an adult cat. So yeah, again, I'll always show you when I have a little encounter. But before I can do any of the projects every week, it's maintenance time. You got to do your maintenance to take care of what you've already accomplished before you can do any new projects. Again, I've got tons of planning to do, but I've got to mow, and that's the city property where I've got the mower there. And there's a lot to mow, and I'm just mulching that. I'm not using it in the garden. A lot of weeds, but yeah, lots to do. But I wanted to show you how nice the grass is looking. I have one dead spot where I dumped some gasoline last year, but other than that, the grass is really looking good, and the little orchard, rural orchard's doing well. And I've had a little bit of an issue with the compost because in the past I have not had enough materials to just build a bin in a day. And when you do build a bin in a day, it shrinks a lot more than if you do it over time. So I'm going to use these first two bins, and I'm just going to keep building them until they're heaping. And then I will turn around and flip them into that third bin, and then the second bin, and then we'll start screening. But yeah, I've still got room to still build, and so the next mow next week, I'm going to keep on building. And we'll see if we can get these topped off and heaping because I need lots of material, and I am almost out of leaves, so I'm not going to be able to build a bunch. But here's early morning one day, and you can see the steam coming off. So I wanted to show you proof that this material does heat up. And again, it's probably not as hot as it can be in certain piles, but I'll show you here in a second. But it's fun to see the steam coming off of it. Yeah. And we're up to 142, 43, I think. So it's heating up. Again, it can get up to 160, 165. So that's pretty common. I was able to bring another 40-gallon trash can from my in-ground static compost bin in Salt Lake that I'm tearing apart and bringing the materials down here to rebuild one. And I had put half a scoop where I'm going to put the tomatoes, and I have enough here I'm going to put a whole other scoop. So, there's some crops that I'm behind planting, getting them in, and other crops I'm ahead. And this is tomatoes down here in our zone, on 5B. And again, in this rural county, there's different elevations. So, the zone does, change some from 4 to 5A or 5B, but I think I'm 5B down here. We'll, just call it that. I'm not going to get too worried about it. We're about 6,300 feet above sea level. And again, it's we're colder for longer. And when it does heat up, though, it gets hot and dry down here. But we always plant warm weather crops a couple weeks later than we would in Salt Lake. But yep, there's the tomato bed already. I won't be planting for a few weeks, so I'm kind of in that tweener stage. But I've got extra of the good compost, and I'm going to start planting some other plants I should have probably already got in the ground, which are potatoes and onions. Again, that's all the compost I have until I make more. I don't want to buy a bunch of compost this year, so I'm just going to hopefully not buy, but we'll see if I have to get some. But that's the best stuff that you can't even buy that kind of good stuff. Garlic's doing wonderfully. And again, the cats are always with me. That's Miss Thing again, and she's enjoying rolling around in the pathways. And my peas were a disaster. They did not, or a failure, I should say. They did not come up. I planted them the earliest I'd ever planted peas when we had a little bit of a warm break in early February. I think it was February 3rd, and they didn't come up at all. So this is more shady side with some tree cover. So but peas don't like the heat, and so this is way late planting peas again. But But we'll put them in here, and hopefully that shade will help keep them alive. Now, that's the compost I put on last year, and it's still not fully broken down. It was a cheap stuff. But these are old seed I had inside, and there's some shell peas and some pod peas. So, and snap peas, I guess. So I'm just going to plant what I got, and if it comes up, it comes up. And I do have some bamboo stakes that I grew in Salt Lake that I'll run string around if they grow, and so they have some support. Don't mind the pellet gun there. That's my mouse pellet gun. But got seed potatoes, and I'm just going to use the ones that I did not eat during the winter. And again, it's probably a better idea to buy certified, disease-free seed potatoes. But this year, I'm going on the cheap, and I'm just gonna plant what I have. And so we're going to plant these and see how they do. And again, I have a little bit of compost left, so all I did to plant the potatoes was dig holes, a few, maybe a foot apart, and just one scoop per hole, or half a scoop, and as far along as it'll last. And that's the good stuff, though. That's other than having a hot compost that'll get rid of weed seeds, this stuff here is it's got tons of worm castings in it, and it's just been sitting for a year and a half, and I screened it out, and it's the best stuff that you can find. Again, just dropping one seed potato into each hole. I'm not going to cut the seed potatoes. A lot of people do cut them when you have a couple eyes on each half, but I find that those could cause diseases or just rot. So I just throw a whole seed potato in, and I'm trying to use the bigger ones that I have, and they're not huge because I ate most of those. I love baked potatoes, and so I don't have a lot of big potatoes. But using my most popular tool is my feet to fill these in, and I will just keep heaping soil as the potatoes grow. You mound them up, and then it gives more room for the potato tubers to grow. So we'll be adding more soil. Now, people have asked me when I put cardboard down, do I pull the tape? And here's proof that I don't. So you do find it later, and I should be pulling it, but I don't know. I find it easier just when I'm raking the soil, I just pull it out then because it's easier to get it off the cardboard than when it's all stuck on it. But yeah. That's one thing. If you use cardboard, you might want to pull that plastic, but I'm always in a hurry. So anyway, just getting the next bed, which is going to be onions, and getting that all ready. And I'm going to go no-till in this area, but right now I don't have the till from this soil. And so we're just going to turn it over for now until I get more organic matter. Trying to be more straight with my lines this year, make a little bit nicer looking of a garden. And my onions that I planted from seed did sprout well, but then I think I overwatered them, which is a big problem I have with my indoor seed starting. I think I'm an overwaterer. But so I just went and bought onions. I got red and yellow onions, the sets, and I'm just putting them in the ground. And again, I space them out first. That way I know where I'm at, and then as I bury them, I can always tell where I'm at. Because if I start pushing them in the ground early, then I get lost as to where I'm at. So, but yeah, I planted several hundred onions, and again, sometimes it's a challenge with the cats. They're always in my business and wanting attention. But yeah, it's fun to see them again be comfortable with me because they weren't that way. And I forgot to show you, but that's the top of an onion, and that's the root. Okay, of the sets. So you always got to plant root side down. Don't ever plant them upside down because that will be a big problem. So anyway, there's a look up to this point. There's garlic. It's looking really nice. And the garden, I'm just cleaning up as I plant. And so it's always a work in progress. Again, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, but just got to keep on swimming. I did go to the store and buy some broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and one Swiss chard. I do have more cabbage in the house that I grew myself, but I didn't want to trust it because I want to make sure that I have some. So yeah, these are nice, healthy seedlings, and the next step was to get these in the ground, and I was in a hurry to do that because these should have been in the ground a long time ago. But that's sometimes you just can't get to everything that you need to get to. So these should have been planted probably in March, April, but we didn't get to it. So there's my weedy mess that I still have. I'm planting again half of the garden at this point, making the rows, and then I'll do the other half that's over toward the bushes, separately when I plant other plants. So we'll see what I put in there. But got the soil turned over. And I got the plants laid out and approximately the spacing. That wasn't the exact spacing, but again, these two Barnevilders are like the cats. They're always in my business, but these two aren't very destructive. They're not the brightest chickens, and they're not the most aggressive. So it's not a big deal to let them out. And they're not that destructive, but they like to hang out with me too. And again, the other chicken I have is I don't know where she's at. She's probably sunbathing somewhere, but. So I still got to get chickens, and so I was going to bring a container up to Salt Lake on my next trip and try to find some off KSL at the local advertisement page, and I forgot the containers. So, yeah, that'll be another trip. But no rush. I'm just going to get mature birds this year and get a couple more. I'm getting no eggs, and I need some eggs. So, yeah, if I'm going to feed chickens, I need to get at least something out of them. But these will be helpful for the bugs this year. As down here, insects are a big problem generally. That's a Swiss chard, and I just bought one. I don't eat a lot of lettuces, but in the future, I think I'm going to need to be eating a lot more salads, and I'll worry about that when I have other planting beds made. As always, got to water everything in really good. I'm going to be out of town for a few days, and I'm hoping that the watering I'm doing today is going to keep those seedlings alive. Here's my inside ones that I'm going to wait a couple of weeks before I put these out. A lot of these are summer, but there are still some cabbage and things that I'll take care of, get planted. Now, the deer are out and about. We had a little bit of a rainstorm one day, and you see there's a couple fawns there, and the moms are over here. So we got, there's always, 6 to 8 deer in every little herd that you see, but they haven't bothered the garden yet, but they're right here, and they're in my yard a lot too. So, well, thanks for watching this video, and that's what I've got going on behind the scenes.